Good evening, everyone. It is now 6:02 on this lovely Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to be covering chapter 21. On Thursday, you will be having an exam on chapters 18, 19, 20, and 21. So you will be having an exam on 4 chapters. So please make sure on Thursday you try to be in attendance, or you will be able to listen to the recording because we will be reviewing for that exam. And then once we finish with 18, 19, 20, and 21 for that exam, you will be having your final exam next week. So remember, this is the last week that I will be reopening assignments. I will not be reopening assignments because this was a 40-day module. So I will not be reopening assignments that last few days of the module. So remember, if you have any assignments, exams, labs that will need to be reopened, please let me know this week. Again, I will not be reopening any exams. This is a 40-day module. It is too much to go back and reopen from day one, but I am willing to do this last week. Also, a couple of reminders. So it shows me a lot that a lot of people are not listening to the recordings. They're not going back and reviewing the recordings. I'm still getting text messages on Saturdays and Sundays, wee hours of the night, in reference to assignments. If it's an emergency, please contact me. You can give me a call. Please, again, do not text me. You can email me on the weekends and I'll get the email on Mondays. Please, I keep going over this. So evidently, people are not looking at the recordings. They're not listening. I put it in emails. Please do not text me in reference to assignments. If it's in an assignment, it can wait until Monday, or you can email me and I will see it on Monday. And remember, I have 24 hours to respond, but I'm getting text messages via phone, 1 a.m. in the morning on Sundays, Monday mornings, Saturdays, early in the morning, 7:30, 8 a.m. about assignments. Please have some respect in reference to calling or texting me on the weekend. Like I said, for the 90th time, you can email me on the weekends. I will respond on Monday. So please have that common courtesy. Treat this as a career. You would not be contacting your boss, supervisor, directors over the weekend when they're off. So please have that kind courtesy for me as well. So remember, for those who are just joining, we will be having an exam on Thursday on chapters 18, 19, 20, and 21. You will have an exam on 4 chapters. It probably will be between 40 and 50 questions. We will also be reviewing that information on Thursday. That exam is due on Sunday. And then the following week, the next few days, you will be having your final exam. Your final exam. I'm trying to determine if it's going to be everything, since it's such a huge chapter, or if I'm just going to do those last few chapters. So I will be reviewing to see how we're going to work with that final exam. But Thursday is 4 chapters that will be due on Sunday. So we're going to do a quick little session on chapter 21, and then we're going to do some review for chapter 18 and chapters 19. So I'm going to share my screen. Any questions in reference to the message that I just, the information I just provided with you? Does anyone have any questions, concerns, comments in reference to what I've said so far? Okay, so chapter 21. Please make sure, if you have not reviewed the 2 videos I submitted in the daily assignment for the male genital area and the female. I submitted 2 videos under your daily assignment for the beginning of this chapter 21. So chapter 21 is reproductive, intersex surgery, female genital system, and maternity care and delivery. So if you're going to be working in this department, if you feel you have an interest in working in this section as one of your specialties, pay close attention, because you do need to know as well, with most of your subjects that you have studied, you need to know your medical terminology. So please review the medical terminology in your workbook and in this chapter and in your manuals. So the objectives that are going to be covered, you can see this is like a 4 or 5 day chapter here. Describe reproductive services, report reproductive services, report intersex surgery services, understand the format of the female genital system subsection, identify elements of component coding with female genital system codes. So that's basically everything that you will be covering for this chapter. So on here, it's the reproductive system. You have nice illustrations in your manual, your coding manuals. Please pay attention to those diagrams as well as in your book. So the reproductive system procedures, if you look, I also have in your PowerPoint slides, which it breaks it down a little more helpful for you. Your PowerPoint slides right here for the first one, it says reproductive system procedures. There's one code, 55920. It reports placement of catheters, needles into pelvic organs, genitalia for subsequent interstitial radial element application. That's the reproductive system procedures, that one code. Intersex surgery. If you know these guidelines, there are only 2 codes within the intersex surgery section, 55970 and 55980. Male to female, female to male. That's the intersex surgery section. 2 codes, remember that. 55970, 55980. Complicated procedures completed over extended period of time, performed by multiple physicians with extensive specialized training. And I always explain to you all to review the gray section under the PowerPoint slides. It asks you questions and it gives you the answers, which is helpful when you're studying for your exams. It says, how many codes are contained in the intersex surgery subsection? 2. We just went over there. There are only 2 codes within the subsection. What is the time required to complete intersex surgery? Here it is right here. Extended period of time. So when you're looking and you're going through your exam and you're looking at everything, pay attention to the gray section under your PowerPoint slides. Then if we go back to the chapter, it gives you here, it says, this code for the reproductive system procedures, this code is not used to report radial element application for the prostate. So with the prostate, it's reported with 55875. So if you need a better understanding, like I said, the PowerPoint slides breaks it down for you. But if you need more information, always revert back to your chapter readings. We went through the intersex section, surgery section. So it says here, how many codes are there in the intersex surgery subsection? How many codes?
It's 2.
2. So do you see how, like I explained, when you read your questions, the information, the answer is always going to be prior to the question. We're not going to have how many codes are there in the intersex surgery subsection, and then you have to read further down. They give you the question so that you're familiar and you understand it's prior. So whenever you get to a question, that information is going to be prior to you answering that question. You're going to have that answer right in front of you. also in your PowerPoint slides. Next, we have the female genital system, the format. The female genital system subsection 56405 through 58999, a large section, is divided according to anatomic site from the vulva up to the ovaries. The anatomic sites are then divided on the basis of category of procedure. So these are examples of incision, excision, and destruction. Codes for in vitro fertilization are located at the end of the subsection. So I gave you all a diagram as well to label, and here's a picture of that diagram as well. It has an arrow and it places to every section of the female genital system. So please make sure you review those diagrams. Going back to the PowerPoint slides. Female genital system, anatomic division from vulva to ovaries, many bundled services. The female genital system subsection is divided according to anatomical site. Sites are further subdivided according to type of procedure. In addition, codes for in vitro fertilization are appended to this section. So everything that's in the book, like I said, you need to simplify it for you. It's in and it breaks down in the gray section of your PowerPoint slides. Although this subsection includes a wide variety of codes for minor procedures, codes for these minor procedures are often bundled into the major procedures. What is important to determine when bundled services are coded? Which procedure and services are included in the bundle to avoid coding problems that stem from unbundling? So if you're working in this specialty area, you're going to have that information most times in the system. It'll already be in the computer system as to what's a bundled service, if it's a bundled service, all of that. If that's a specialty clinic, majority of that information is already in the system for you. But you have to know from that chart, from that medical record, what you're billing and making sure that you're getting all the information that needs to be billed. Female genital system subheadings: vulva, perineum, intratus, vagina, cervix, uteri, corpus uteri, oviduct, ovary, in vitro fertilization. You need to become very familiar with the terminology. And with that terminology, you need to be able to look at the diagram. And you also have these diagrams in your coding manual to know where these medical terminology, where it's located. So looking at the diagram, showing you where the ovaries are, the uterus, showing all of the information inside of the female body that you should know. Here is a diagram as well of the vagina. You need to know your body. So when you're going in to get a pap smear, when you're going in as far as men to get prostate, or you going to get a colonoscopy, you would know what they're talking about, what functions are going on in your body. So please pay attention to these diagrams, knowing the real names to what's in your body, not the street names, but knowing what it's actually called. Knowing your body. So pay attention to these diagrams in your manual and in your textbook. And it says the subsection has a wide variety of codes for minor procedures that are performed in a physician's office, as well as for major procedures that are performed in a hospital setting. It is important to read the descriptions of the codes as well as the notes to avoid unbundling in the subsection. So as explained, if you're in a specialty clinic, most times it's going to be in that computer system. It says, for example, if a total abdominal hysterectomy was performed as well as a bilateral or for ectomy, removal of ovaries, only 58150 would be reported because the code description includes the statement with or without removal of ovaries. So you always have to make sure you're reading that documentation in that patient's medical chart. And it just goes on, the vulval, perineum, and intratus. Skene's glands coded with urinary system, incision or excision codes. Groups of small mucus glands, lower end of urethra. Remember, that's the urethra, not the ureter. So making sure you're paying attention to the vocabulary. Ureter is ER, urethra is THRA. Categories: incision, destruction, excision, repair, and endoscopy or endoscopy. It's pronounced both ways. It says, why isn't incision and drainage of Skene's glands coded in the vulval, perineum, and intratus subheading? Skene glands are part of the urinary system, not the female genital system. So you always have to pay attention to the notations, the notes, and the guidelines when you're coding. Incision category, 56405 through 56442. IND of abscesses, vulval perineal area of Bartholin's gland. Marsupialization, cyst in size, drain, edges suture to size to keep cysts open. All of this will be documented in the medical chart. You will just need to know where you need to find the code, the incision category. Destruction, lesions destroyed by a variety of methods. Destruction equals eradication, not excision. Excision is removal. So remember, look at the differences. Destruction divided by simple or extensive destruction, completely based on physician's judgment. Extensive would imply greater physician work, degree of difficulty, or number of lesions destroyed, stated in record. So this would be in the medical chart in the documentation. 56501, 56515 have a global period of 10 days on Medicare fee schedule. So look at these codes, the destruction code range. 56501, 56515 for destruction. It has a global period of 10 days on Medicare fee schedule. If the patient returns in 2 days for a recheck, it is included payment for original procedure. With destruction is no pathology report. It tells you in the grade section, simple and complex procedures are coded separately. Assessment of complexity is based on the physician's judgment as documented in the medical record. Why is no pathology report generated when a lesion is treated by destruction? Nothing is left on the lesion for analysis when destruction is used. Excision, the code range 56605 through 56740. Biopsy includes local anesthetic, biopsy, simple closure. Code based on number of lesions. So anywhere in the reproductive system when you have lesions is based on the numbers of lesions. Place number of lesions on CMS 1500 is 24G. So when you look at that CMS 1500 form, because that's where you will be submitting all of your billing, that location is 24G. 2 biopsy codes are included in the CPT 5605 to code biopsy of the first lesion, and 56606 to code biopsies of the second and subsequent lesions. So remember, when you look at that CMS 1500 form, you're going to put that information in 24G. Excision continued. Codes 56605 through 5606 are designated separate procedures. If another service code from female genital subsection performed at same session, this is important, if it's at the same session, separate procedure codes would not be billed separately. Repeat this again. If another service code from female genital subsection performed at the same session, separate procedure codes would not be billed separately. 56606 is add-on code and describes each separate additional lesion biopsied from vulvoperitoneum. Excision extent is simple, skin and superficial subcutaneous tissues, radical, skin and deep subcutaneous tissues. Excision, that's still going on, so make sure you read the whole extent of excisions. Repair, many plastic repairs. Read notes following the category. If repair procedure for wound of genitalia, use integumentary system code. So see, this is where, depending on the depth of the skin, where it is, if it's the muscle, you have to go into the integumentary system. It says, if repair procedure for wound of genitalia, use integumentary system code. Endoscopy by means of colposcopy with or without biopsy. So that will be in the documentation in that medical record, if it was with or without. That information is always going to be provided in the medical record. Procedure codes in the repair category include plastic repair. So make sure you're reading this. It says, when should integumentary codes be used? When the plastic repair is done as a result of a wound to the genitalia. This information is noted at the end of the repair category code listing. So make sure you're always reading the code and the notations following. The vagina, 57000 through 57426. Codes divided based on service. Example, incision or excision. It says, how are codes for the vagina subheading divided? On the basis of the service delivered. Too often, confused procedures are coded within this subheading. Colopotomy, 57,000 through 57,010, cutting into the vagina to gain access to the pelvic cavity. Then you have colpocentesis, an incision of the vagina to gain access to the peritoneal cul-de-sac, the area between the uterus and the rectum, to explore it or to drain an abscess. So remember, in that section, it's going to be incision or excision. Introduction includes vaginal irrigation, insertion of devices, diaphragm, cervical caps, pessary. Report device inserted separately. So if any device is being inserted, that's going to be reported separately. Coverage for supplies will vary based on the payer, depending who's paying for that service. That's how they will determine how it's applied. Medicare bundles 99070 into procedure code and AA261 is non-covered. Code 57180 has a 10-day global period. That will always be in your coding for you to look at in documentation when you're looking for that code. So that's the introduction section. Repair for non-obstetric repairs. Obstetric repairs use maternity care and delivery codes. Global period, usually 90 days. Review the operative report for specific details relevant to accurate code assignment. So this is all we're going to cover for today. We're going to go into our review. You have 4 chapters for your exam. So we're going to cover a little bit that's going to be on your exam, so you'll know what you need to be studying in the 4 chapters. You also need your coding manuals as well, because you will have quite a bit of coding to do for these 4 chapters. So remember, we will continue on Thursday with the review and going through this last chapter that's going to be on your exam. So I'm going to chapter 18 now, because this will be on, chapter 18 will be on your exam, because you all haven't had an exam for quite a few chapters because the chapters were very, very short. So first question, let's see if you all have been reading, or if you have, if you have a good memory, if you're paying attention to what you're reading, because this is information that will be on your national certification exam. So let me stop sharing. So first one, this is chapter 18 that we're reviewing. Mediastinum codes are identified by this factor. Mediastinum codes are identified by this factor. A, extenuating circumstances. B, conditional complexity. C, surgical approach. Or D, patient position. Mediastinum codes are identified by this factor. A, extenuating circumstances. B, conditional complexity. C, surgical approach. Or D, patient position.
Surgical approach.
Yes, surgical approach is the answer. Next, the bone marrow is taken from a close relative. So there is a genetic sensitivity and similarity. Is it A, allogenic, B, transgenic, C, autologous, or D, biogenic? The bone marrow is taken from a close relative. So there is a genetic similarity. Is it A, allogenic, B, transgenic, C, autologous, or D, biogenic? You see why you need to know this medical terminology?
You said it was a close relative?
Yes. The bone marrow is taken from a close relative, so there is a genetic similarity.
It's allogenic.
Right, allogenic. Next. What word describes a lymphadenectomy in which only the lymph nodes are removed? Which word describes a lymphadenectomy in which only the lymph nodes are removed? A, radical, B, partial, C, segmental, or D, limited? Which word describes a lymphodenectomy in which only the lymph nodes are removed? A, radical, B, partial, C, segmental, or D, limited?
Limited.
Correct. D is limited. Next. Total or partial splenectomy codes are designated as blank procedures. Total or partial splenectomy codes are designated as blank procedures. Have to give me the answer for that one. Total or partial splenectomy codes are designated as blank procedures.
Separate.
I couldn't hear you.
Separate.
Correct. Separate procedures. Coding time. Do you all have your manuals, your ICD and your CPT? I need more participation, not just Jared. Raven, Penny, I know Samantha's at work. Penny, Raven, you all have your coding manuals?
Yes, ma'am.
Raven?
I'm at work.
Okay. So Penny and Jared, it's all yours.
Oh, my.
Okay. First one. Excision. So that's the first key. Like excision of a mediastinal tumor diagnosed as a secondary site, primary unknown. Excision of a mediastinal tumor diagnosed as a secondary site, primary unknown. I need the CPT code and the ICD-10 code. The ICD-10 code, give you a hint, has two codes. Excision of a mediastinal tumor diagnosed as a secondary site, primary unknown. And I need the page numbers, please.
Give it to me one more time.
Excuse me. Excision of a mediastinal tumor diagnosed as a secondary site, primary unknown. I'm gonna repeat it again. Excision, that's your main thing. So you should know you should be looking at excision. Excision of a mediastinal tumor diagnosed as a secondary site, primary unknown. Mediastinal tumor. I need the CPT code. And if you can't find one, look for that ICD-10 code. It's 2 of them for the ICD-10.
Would it be 39220?
You got it. You got it, Penny. What page? You're in what manual?
22,
Okay, what page is it on in 2022?
339.
So page 339 in 2022. Jared, you're in 2023?
Yeah. Yeah. Now what's the code again?
39220.
It's on page 327.
Okay, page 327 in 2023 and 322, right, Penny? Can you hear me, Penny?
I was muted. It's 339.
Oh, 339 in 2022. So now you all are looking for the ICD-10, 2 codes. Excision of a mediastinal tumor, diagnosed as a secondary site, primary unknown. Do you all need a hint? Or you want to do it on your own?
I'll take a hint.
So the hint is it starts with the letter C. The next hint, so it's for one of them, okay, it's, and I'm gonna give you the first little part, C7. I'm not telling you the rest of it. That's only the first number. That's not the entire number, but it's 2 codes and they both start with C. And this is in the ICD-10 manual. 2 codes. Excision of a mediastinal tumor, diagnosed as a secondary site, primary unknown.
No, skin. Well, that's just Like, hold on. Him.
Giving y'all one more minute. I gave y'all a big hint. C7. I gave you that much. C7. Penny, Jared, what's going on?
We working.
I gave y'all a big hint. C7. So guess what? That means y'all need to go back to chapter 18 and do a review. Go through those PowerPoint slides and look at those code ranges. So I'm going to give you the first one.
I think I found it.
Oh, what, Penny?
Is it C78.1?
All right, Penny. What's the second one?
I don't know. I didn't find the second.
Penny, what page?
It's on 705.
Page 705 for 2022.
And mine is 707.
So, Jared, you found it at
When she started talking, I'm looking right at it. It's all 707. Now, what
Okay.
you were saying? I'll read the code, the statement again. So
Yes.
let's see what the other one is.
Excision of a mediastinal tumor diagnosed as a secondary site, primary unknown. So y'all working too hard because it's too close for y'all not to see that one.
Is it C78.30?
No. Excision of a mediastinal tumor diagnosed as a secondary site, primary unknown. So I'm gonna give y'all this answer. We gotta move on. We're gonna do one more. The answer is C80.1. C80.1. Do you all see it? C80.1.
It's on page 708 under 23.
708 in 2023. Penny, do you see it?
Yes, it's on page 706.
In 2022. So y'all see how close that was together? Nobody don't want to say nothing now.
That ICD tip would give me the business.
So guess what? What is it saying? Y'all have to go back and review chapter 18. Because when it comes time to that exam, y'all gonna be spending a whole hour on one or two questions. You have to make sure you're paying attention when you look at the code range. Look at those code ranges. Next one. Drainage of an extensive lymph node abscess. Pathology report indicated staphylococcus. Drainage of an extensive lymph node abscess. Pathology report indicated staphylococcus. What is the CPT code and the ICD-10 code? I need two of them. And this will be the last one for tonight, but I need you all to definitely review chapters 18, 19, 20, and 21. Your exam is going to be between 40 and 50 questions because there's a lot to cover. Make sure you're reviewing and practicing, looking at your PowerPoint slides and looking at the code ranges. If it's incision, excision, drainage, destruction, that will definitely help you when you're trying to find the information, trying to find the codes. So it says drainage of an extensive lymph node abscess. Pathology report indicated staphylococcus.
Is it 38305?
Look at Penny. That is excellent. That is correct. What page?
Page 336.
Page 336 in 2022. You have it, Jared?
324.
Page 324 in 2023. So now I need those two ICD-10 codes.
Oh boy.
Jared, look like
definitely
you're
can say
sweating.
that.
Like you look, Jared.
You can say that again.
Look like you are sweating. Come on, I need two codes. Drainage of an extensive lymph node abscess. Pathology report indicated staphylococcus. I'm gonna give y'all a hint. I'm gonna be so nice tonight, huh? First letter is an L. First letter is an L. The second code starts with the letter B, as in boy. Drainage of an extensive lymph node abscess. Pathology report indicated staphylococcus. Two ICD-10 codes. First letter is an L for the first code. Second letter is a B for the second code. Excuse me, Raven. Which Raven? I have, 3 Ravens. Raven Taylor, Raven Morvant. Can you put it in chat, Raven? Because we had a graduate already on the 10th, Raven Morvant, just finished the course.
You said it was. You said it was staff, right?
Huh? Yes, staff
You said it
Staphylococcus.
was staff. Is it a B95?
Okay, point what?
Uh,
B95 is correct, but what? Point what?
point 7.
Almost, Jared.
So it must be point 8 then.
Yes. B95.8 is the second code. Can y'all please
Yeah,
give me the first code
it's on page 683.
with the B95.8?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can hear the page.
683.
683. Penny, you found it yet?
Yes, it's on page 681.
Okay, 681 in 2022 and 683 in 2023. That's the second code. I need that first ICD-10 code.
And
So I have
what
a
you said the letter
question with
was on
these.
that one?
I didn't hear you, Penny.
I have a question. Like, when you're looking for it, how do you know that it's 2 codes? Like, if this was on the test, how would we know that we need 2 codes for it?
On the exam, it'll tell you.
Okay, but like, just if we're looking, we won't know that we need 2 codes.
Well,
Like,
even on the
if the exam
certification
didn't.
exam, they're going to have if it's 2 or 3 codes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it'll let you know that you have 2 codes. And then on your multiple choice, they'll have like 2 and 3 codes bundled.
Okay.
So it would always like let you know on for the exam. And then in the medical chart, when you're reading everything, and once you go through that full medical chart, you would know that it needs 1 or 2 codes.
Okay.
What was the letter on that other one?
You want my letter?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gave it one time, so I will give it again.
L. The letter L.
Appreciate you.
Is it L00?
Almost, Penny. Keep going down. Drainage of an extensive lymph node abscess. Pathology report indicated Staphylococcus. You're in the right area. You just have to go down a little further.
Okay.
It was a lymph node abscess, right?
Yes, drainage of an extensive lymph node abscess. Pathology report indicates Staphylococcus. Penny, what you had for me? You had LOO. I told you to go down a little further. You didn't find anything for me yet?
Is it an L02?
You're warm. Keep going down. Keep going. Keep going down.
L03.9.
You are so close. You're steaming hot, Penny.
0.91.
Huh?
0.91. L03.91.
No.
Oh.
L03.
You all are so close. I cannot believe you. Y'all are right there.
L03.891.
Penny, leave the L03 alone.
Okay, get out of it. Let me move.
Leave that L03 alone. I'm telling you, you're hot. You're hot. Move down.
Okay.
L02.9?
Jared, how do you go back up
Oh.
when I say go down? Jared is stressing. Penny, come on, what you have?
Okay. L04.0.
Let me give you the answer. You're close. It's L04.9.
Oh.
L04.9. So guess what? The conclusion for today is you all need to go back to chapter 18.
These ICD codes is horrible.
Terrible. Terrible.
But if you're looking in your index and you're finding the main term, go back and look. But y'all don't look. Y'all don't forgot all about the poor little mediastinum and all of the other information, the drainage, and they tell you incision, excision, destruction. That's your key words. Drainage, extensive lymph nodes, tumors. So that's why you have to know where to find the information, where to look for the information. Jared, like you was about to start popping sweat out there. I'm like,
You worked me at work today.
But see, that's what I'm saying. How they say practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
You know, so constantly practicing. That's why I want us to code. But you all did great. You were getting through it. So make sure again that you all are reviewing chapters 18, 19, 20, and 21. Your exam is on Thursday, but we will review on our 4 o'clock Zoom class. We'll do another review, and you do have through Sunday and until Sunday to take that exam. Then 3 days later, you'll be taking your final. So this is the time to review. Go back through your PowerPoint slides. Look at the code ranges. Look at incision, excision, introduction, destruction. Look at those terms to find out where you need to look and find those codes. Any questions, concerns?
You said you put a video that tell you how to tab your ICD-10 book, right?
That was a while back, but it's the same as your CPT.
Okay.
It's the same tabbing. But what I'll do, if you don't have it out, it'll be later on tonight.
I could go look on YouTube and see if I can find a video.
They have it on there, but I placed it in, but it's probably was a few chapters ago.
Okay, no problem. Like I said, I'll go look for it.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns? All right, this is 10 points. Put your 10 points down. Jared, look like you searched. I know you're not trying to get no 15 today.
Not today. Not today. I'm gonna leave the 15 alone today.
But you all did great. And that's what I'm saying. Practice makes perfect. Looking, searching, finding out what you need to look, what categories you need to look under. That's the key to success. Nobody is perfect. Remember, it's going to be quite different once you get into the real world, because in specialty clinics, they have those codes already programmed in the system. Remember, if you're in a maternity section, you're not going to have codes for high blood pressure or diabetes. They're going to do a referral to that specialized clinic. So just remember that depending on where you go, outpatient, inpatient, determines on what you'll be coding for. And most times, those codes are already logged in the system. So don't get too overworked and, concerned. You will have guides, and making sure that you know your medical terminology. You have to know that medical terminology. So going through again, chapters 18 through 21. On Thursday, 4 p.m., we will do another review, coding. Bring your manuals, CPT and ICD manuals with you. We will be coding and reviewing. That exam is due on Sunday. So give yourself some time. You can start reviewing now, looking at your PowerPoint slides, reading through the chapters, looking in your workbook for that medical terminology. So you all have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will see you all on Thursday for 4 p.m. Enjoy and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Everybody have a good night.
Bye.